gonna start screaming questions at these women like I'm Billy Eichner. Anti-Semitism, yay or nay? Yes or no is calling for the genocide of Jews against the code of conduct for Harvard.
When men are married to women who scream like you, they just want to die sooner.
For years, Saturday Night Live was actually good. The problem is most people born after 1990 don't even know about those years. There was a golden era of Saturday Night Live, whether you're a Norm Macdonald, Steve Martin kind of guy, or you even remember Adam Sandler, Chris Kattan era, Chris Farley. All of these were genius seasons. And while the show has always been, I guess you would call it liberal or left-leaning of the, like that, but now it's over the years it's courted a further and further left-leaning crowd, meaning it just wants more and more and more progressives and less kind of like normal people, normies. You're people that enjoy a good jab at the joke at the president's expense, things of that nature. But now it's gone into like full-on political theater, and it sucks. Viewership has never been lower. But this weekend, in their cold open, they that woke crowd that they've been pursuing so desperately over the past few years absolutely backfired with their cold open sketch, and they're getting shredded online, and I couldn't be happier about it. And they put out this sketch that was supposed to be skewering, I guess, the congressional hearings that were going on about these woke college presidents who were allowing for some pretty heinous speech on their campuses. Now, I want to point out, as many people, I think, perhaps haven't been this specific, I don't care that these students are chanting whatever it is that they're chanting. They're allowed to do that. The problem is, if they were chanting something anti-LGBTQ or anti-black or anti-Muslim or the list goes on and on, everything, with the exception of anti-Asian and anti-white, they would be probably expelled, losing their scholarships, all this kind of stuff. So people on the side of free speech are finding themselves cheering for these multi-millionaire university presidents to lose their jobs because of the double standard. If they let pro-life Catholics, parade around and go in front of their student, their student pro-life, whatever, if there's a pro-life seminar and a bunch of, or pro-choice and then a bunch of pro-lifers showed up, I think we know how that would go. But they put this out and they said, and now we have testimony. So if we just look at the replies, 4,000 replies to just 1,000 likes, by the way. You could have easily made fun of the presidents, but instead the presidents of the university, but instead you chose to make fun of the one person questioning them, disgusting, cringe AF, making excuses for Jew-hating Marxists to boot, can't give a wrong pronoun, but you can heckle the Jews, go goose step to old Hitler speeches. SNL died over a decade ago. Now it's a zombified corpse walking and laughing at itself while everyone else ignores it. Holy S, this was bad. Politics and anti-Semitism aside, it's unbelievably transparent. Leftists must confront their heroes are low IQ diversity hires, not the Republicans exposing them. Here's what every one of these people just ruthlessly ratioing them. The SNL Live audience didn't laugh because the skit wasn't funny, and neither is anti-Semitism, especially in light of the resignation of Penn president hours before the show. If this is the best the SNL team can offer, I think we're all better off when the union was on strike. Most cringe skit ever. This is what happens when comedy is replaced by radical political bias, and you see a lot of Hitler memes in there. I mean, SNL hasn't been funny for decades, except for when Nate Bargatze hosted. Other than that, it's flaming hot garbage. What were you thinking? Hey, let's make a sketch what Hamas supporters will like. I mean, everything going on. SNL watches a hearing, sees 3 university presidents refuse to say calls for the removal of Jews violate school policy, and they think the joke is the Republican asking the questions. That's the punchline. And they have I think this is an Auschwitz picture that just says depends on the context. I mean, it is so bad that their guest host dropped out and refused to participate in it. That's how bad it is, or that's how bad it was. Their guest host was like, "Nah, I know this is gonna go bad." Saturday Night Live continues to face massive backlash over its tone-deaf sketch of congressional hearings on anti-Semitism on campus, as reports say ex-cast member Cicely Strong, don't know who that is, pulled out at the last minute. The NBC show's cold open on Saturday tried to make light of the testimony by presidents at Harvard, UPenn, and MIT regarding anti-Semitism at the nation's top universities, but the joke did not land. Former SNL star Strong was set to play Representatives Elise Stefanik in the sketch, but was replaced by newcomer Chloe Trost after dress rehearsal, according to the report by The Wrap. Even that person knew. Even that former cast member was like, nah, I don't think so. I think I'm going to nope out of this one. I feel like perhaps this might be in bad taste. To me, obviously, all humor is okay. All jokes are okay. But it's funny to me that, of course, their own woke viewers, they went too woke. They went too woke and kind of exposed themselves a little bit. It's unclear why Strong was replaced or left the sketch despite rehearsing. Really? It's unclear? I think it's pretty effing clear. The site notes that Strong could be holding off on her return till next week when former SNL star Kate McKinnon said to host the show. No, I doubt it. Fox News, The Five host Greg Gutfeld was one of the many critics of the sketch, writing on X, how to explain SNL siding with the Ivy League neo-racists, wondering what college the writers attended. Yeah, I mean, it is not, I mean, it's getting, here's a 6 minute, it got 10,000 upvotes out of 1.3 million views. I'm going to go ahead and guess. Now, I don't know how accurate this plugin is anymore, in terms of the dislike button. But let's just see what the return the dislike button says for this one. And it has 16,000 downvotes. Is what it looks like. 10,000 up, 16,000 down. Not surprised at all by that. People, you have all these people in their replies. The sketch was very similar to the university presidents themselves, afraid of offending someone, thus pissing off everyone. By all means, let's ridicule the Republican congresswoman asking incisive questions rather than the college presidents for giving indefensible answers. I mean, everybody's just crushing them. You see, Rabbi Shemuel Reichman said the skit was most embarrassing he'd ever seen. Unfortunately, this is not surprising. SNL hasn't had their finger on the pulse for about a decade now. They're about as out of touch with reality as Liz McGill. This is probably the most embarrassing decision in SNL's history, the author wrote. Eddie Murphy, Bill Murray, Will Ferrell, Adam Sandler are probably shaking their heads in disgust somewhere, embarrassed by how low SNL has sunk since their heyday. Fellow rabbi and writer David Bashkevin added, SNL's Achilles heel is thinking the joke is always on Trump. I'm an SNL fan, but this was such a fail. Former U.S. ambassador to Israel, David Friedman, appointed by President Donald Trump, also addressed the sketch. Just saw last night's SNL opener. Whether or not you care or however you feel about anti-Semitism in college campuses, this just wasn't funny. And Anti-Defamation League CEO Jonathan Greenblatt, on his part, tweeted, the skit was atrocious. The sentiments even more appalling. Yeah, maybe they should not worry so much about free speech on X and worry a little bit more about what's going on mainstream television on Saturday Night Live. Conservative radio host Larry Elder also weighed in, writing on X, it had been a while since I watched SNL. I quickly remembered why. Cringeworthy. Why isn't it anti-Semitic to mock a critic of anti-Semitism for her criticism of it? Meanwhile, former State Department spokesperson Heather Nauert accused NBC's show of hating Republicans more than anti-Semitism. Well, that's probably true. And the Babylon Bee's editor-in-chief, Kyle Mann, said it's actually pretty incredible how the skit featured liberals being unwilling to call genocide bad, and they weren't the punchline of the joke. Just shows you how funny you can get when you're unwilling to make fun of people on your own side. I mean, yeah, I mean, I think you can have your opinions about what's going on over on Israel, but like, you know, I just think, you know, maybe SNL should have shut their stupid mouths. You know, maybe SNL should have chilled on that. I mean, the rotting husk of SNL can mock this all they want. The damage is done. Heads are rolling, and it's all because of this very straightforward question. Many people call on them to apologize. You know, they don't have to apologize for it, but they just have to deal with the backlash. Congress college anti-Semitism hearing gets shredded in SNL cold open. This is from the Huffington Post. I don't know about that. I don't know about that because anybody who really watched it, you know, SNL divides viewers with cold open mocking college presidents. They didn't really mock the college presidents. That's not how anyone saw it. You know what I mean? Like, you know, better take. I think that the left is desperately trying to like make this, you know, oh, the Republicans are mad. Like, I'm not a Republican, but I'd be someone they're probably targeting with that statement. Like, I don't care. SNL can just piss off what few fans it has left. I'm fine with that. I mean, all of these people in this are caricatures, and it's pretty telling. The university presidents left themselves open to be relentlessly mocked, which they deserved, by SNL, but the cast completely blew it. No, they didn't. The cast agreed with what those presidents said. The cast agreed with it. And again, all this stuff is fine. All these jokes are fine. I'm here to point out that we know that, you know, the double standard that exists, right? This is nuts. Did they injure themselves bending over backwards to make this inept testimony of university presidents not look like a total train wreck? You don't have to be Jewish to cringe at this, just a human being. I mean, I remember when I used to watch Saturday Night Live every weekend. And now whatever this is just this like weird cringe, self, you know, promoting political ideology fest. And politics just really isn't that funny. You can make political jokes, but that's all they know. And all the writers they've ever had, that's all the jokes they've ever wrote. Orange Man bad. And so this is the crap you get. I couldn't be happier that they're getting eaten by their own. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you have a like on it, and we'll talk to you again real soon.